Good evening. We bring you the latest in the world of sports and the conversations you want to hear from your favorite icons and athletes. I'm Paulo De Rosario. In tonight's game plan, Sotto officially joins the 12-man roster of Gilas Pilipinas as they continue their 2021 FIBA Asia Cup qualifiers tomorrow. We'll get the latest live from the Clark bubble in just a bit. We'll also give you our exclusive interview with second-gen hooper RJ Abarrientos as he prepares to carry his family's legacy with the national squad. And the Hawks and the Clippers take Game 4 of their respective conference semifinals. Is Kawhi Leonard proving his case as the best player in the world? Three-time PBA champion Sol Mercado joins us for our NBA discussion tonight. Well, joining us today, Jet Manuel. As always, Jet's going to be really exciting to talk about Gilas and the NBA today, and I'm sure you got a lot to say. We'll find out what that is in a bit, because Gilas Pilipinas is locked and loaded as they return to action in the 2021 FIBA Asia Cup qualifiers, and that starts tomorrow. Gilas has released its roster for the tournament, which includes young Gilas tower Sotto in its Magic 12. Sotto joins the national squad led by Captain Isaac Go and Ange Kuwame, who will help lead young guns like SJ Belangel, RJ Abarrientos, and Justin Baltazar. Also part of the roster are Javi Gomez de Liaño, Dwight Ramos, Mike Nieto, Will Navarro, Carl Tamayo, and JD Tungcab. To give us the latest from Clark, Pampanga, we have Samahang Basketball ng Pilipinas Media Officer. I still love that title. Carlo Pamintuan. Carlo, Gilas' first game tomorrow against South Korea. What's the atmosphere there right now?
They're enjoying that a little too much, pal.
Yes, I am.
Gilas Pilipinas men just finished with their gym session. They're having dinner right now. I believe they will have another team meeting a little later on just to map out the plans, because South Korea is a very tough opponent for the Philippines historically. So there will have to be a lot of preparations. You will have to be aware of all of the sets that they're playing, just to give you a thought, trying to defend them, because they're knockdown shooters in that squad. They have a strong center, one of the best in the region, in Ricardo Ratliff. So it should be a tough challenge for the young Gilas Pilipinas squad.
Tough challenge indeed. But you've been with the team now. You've seen how they've been playing, how they've been practicing together, especially with Coach Tab and the new members, especially Kai. I just want to ask about, Carlo. What do you expect from them, how they will be playing tomorrow? It's their first game. What do you expect they're going to play like, especially coming out of the gate with the lineup that they have?
I was almost offended that you were about to forget my name, Jeff. But
I was going to say media.
you know what? The toughest thing, sinabi ko rin kay Paolo to kahapon, the toughest thing about this campaign for Gilas Pilipinas is that they have not played a single preparation game. Wala silang tune-up game. They were playing against each other in scrimmage. Yes, that's important. But, siyempre, importante rin na masubukan mo yung team na to on how it will compete against another team. Defending your teammates could be easier because you're anticipating what they're running, and that can't happen against South Korea. You have to be on your toes. You have to be thinking ahead, anticipating what they'll try to do as you try to navigate your defensive sets against them. Again, this is a tall challenge because these are young athletes. As we said time and again, SBP is trying to develop professionals here, and that is the general theme of it. Of course, we want to win games. Of course, we want to stay competitive against South Korea, but we have to temper expectations because we also know that a lot of these players have not seen action for the entire pandemic. Half of the team saw action in November. The other half has literally not played a single basketball game throughout the pandemic.
Well, Carlos, sinabi ni Coach Tab Baldwin that for Sotto to be part of the team, he would have required a couple of weeks preparation with the team to make sure that he's part of the system. But right now, he was not afforded that, but is still part of the lineup. How is Kai looking in practice? Is he fitting into the system like a glove?
I was able to talk to Coach Tab Baldwin, and his explanation was that they were very impressed with Kai's ability to retain the information that he got from an earlier training camp when the team was preparing to go to Doha, Qatar to play these games there. But they said that because he retained so much, he was able to really get a good grasp of what the system is And in turn, they were able to teach him a little bit more in terms of what they want to get from him. A limitation though for Coach Tab Baldwin and Gilas Pilipinas is that I think that's Coach Tab Baldwin right there. Hi, Coach. I'm speaking.
Looks like he's gelling in the team well too.
He heard me, right?
Naka-jersey ba si Coach? Maglalaro ba siya?
I think he just went for a jog. What I was trying to say was that one limitation for Gilas Pilipinas men with Kai Sotto is that they will only get to run a certain percentage of their sets because Kai doesn't know the entirety of the system. So when he's on the floor, you're limited to what he knows, and that's a limitation. But of course, when you have someone like Kai Sotto in a team, that's always a great addition. So the team, the coaching staff decided that the pros outweigh the cons, and that is why he made it to the squad, not just for the first game against Korea. He's actually playing back-to-back as he is also lined up against Indonesia.
I mean, Arlo, I just know, I mean, you've been there, you've seen Kai play, maybe against his teammates, but maybe you could give us a little sneak peek on what the Pinoy fans, and us included, could be excited to see when he actually steps on the floor wearing that Pilipinas jersey. Just a little bit that you can share with us.
I know that we are very excited to see Kai Sotto, but then again, I go back to the point that he is not, that in tune with the system just yet. Should you be excited? Of course you should be excited. I mean, do we want to see him go up against Ricardo Radcliffe and test his skills against a former PBA import? For sure we do. But there's also a lot of reason to be excited about the other members debuting for the squad as well. I'm very high on RJ Abarrientos, on Carl Tamayo. These young guns really gave it their all during their training camp, and they know the system a little bit better because they have more hours with Coach Tab Baldwin and the rest of the coaching staff.
Carlo, that actually brings me to my last point here. How excited are you, or at least how shocked were you knowing that ang laki ng team natin compared to maybe some of the other teams that we've sent out there? I don't think we've had this type of size in an international tournament in quite some time.
It's actually funny because as we saw earlier, we're not playing Jordan Heading, Gio Chu, and Lebron Lopez for the first game against South Korea. And then we're not playing Mike Nieto, Javi Gomez de Liano, and JB Tongkab for the second game against Indonesia. The point was, the team was trying to be fast against South Korea, and that's why they injected all of their guards there, except for Jordan Heading, who I believe is dealing with a little bit of a hip issue. So they wanted to be fast. But even if they wanted to be fast, this team is very tall. And it's very exciting. Actually, even in the photo shoot kahapon, nung nagsama-sama lang si Kai Sotto, si Ange Kwame, then you have William Navarro and Carl Tamayo and Justin Tongkab. And those latter three players can actually play small forward. It's so exciting that you can have 6'7", 6'8" small forwards in the future for Gilas Pilipinas.
Grabe, ang late natin, no, Jet?
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Pinapakinggan ko yung names, so I was like just looking up the whole time, figuring out how they were.
Carlo, thank you very much for joining us here tonight. We always love your updates. And don't worry, I'm getting over your title very soon.
My name is Carlo, Jet.
Yeah. I was keeping quiet, Carlo. Thanks for joining us tonight.
All right, when we return, we go inside the game of second-generation hooper RJ Abarrientos to talk about carrying the family legacy and becoming a leader for Gilas Pilipinas. Keep it here. You're watching the game.
There will always be heavy expectations to any basketball player carrying the name of Abarrientos. And although he knows that a comparison to his legendary uncle Johnny Abarrientos are inevitable, young Gilas Pilipinas point guard RJ Abarrientos is putting in the work to start building his own legacy.
Abarrientos is one of the younger players in the Gilas Pilipinas pool. together with Carl Tamayo and Lebron Lopez. They have not even played a single game in the collegiate level, but the point guard is one of the more vocal leaders in training.
Binigyan ako ng opportunity ni Coach Tav to guide the other players, or syempre hindi naman lahat vocal. So we need to build na maging character namin, lalo na yung maging communication namin, kasi di naman kami magkakasama sa isang teams sa UAP. So magkakaiba kaming school. So yung isa lang yung sinabi sa akin ni Coach Tav na need mo mag-lead, kasi wala akong pake kung ikaw yung bata or isa sa pinakabata. Pero kailangan ko yung effort mo to lead the team by your commitment and communication to them.
There's a popular saying that goes, you cannot teach what you do not know. This is why there's a lot of pressure on the young guard to quickly learn Coach Tab Baldwin's system for him to become a leader on the floor.
Yun yung sobrang pressure sa guard. Siguro halos lahat ng guard sa Pilipinas may intindihan kung paano kahirap yung nararamdaman namin. Kasi yun nga, especially dapat alam namin bago namin sabihin sa teammates namin. Dapat alam namin bago namin i-lead yung tamang posisyon kung saan sila dapat or ano yung dapat nilang gawin. So, dapat makita muna nila kung ano yung tama sa amin bago sila sumunod sa amin.
RJ admits that he knows all about the expectations for him because of his surname. His uncle, the Flying A, Johnny Abarrientos, is arguably the finest point guard that Philippine basketball has ever produced.
May pressure, pero ano na parang part na siya ng life ko. Yung pressure na Abarrientos, okay, one of the best player in the PBA history. So okay lang sa akin. So I'll do my part. I do my job to na magawa ko yung part ko para sa Gilas and din sa team ko sa college. So wala namang pressure. Pero yun nga, maraming nagsasabi na syempre uncle ko Johnny Abarrientos. So kailangan mas sigitan or kailangan mas tapatan. Pero akin okay lang, enjoy lang, i-enjoy ko lang yung binibigay na work para sa akin ngayon.
According to RJ, his uncle just needed to see that he was committed to the sport of basketball before opening the wealth of information that he was able to amass in his Hall of Fame career.
Ganon si Tito. Gusto niya na i-assure kung commit ka ba sa isang bagay bago siya pumasok. Hindi siya yung parang sobrang soft pagdating sa mga, lalo na sa pagdating sa future. Gusto niya commit ka. Gusto niya nandun yung focus mo, pag-aaral, basketball. Kumbaga, ayaw niya nung, kung may ibang gusto ka, hindi kita pakikialaman. Pero kung focus ka talaga sa job mo, sa binibigay sa'yo, inaalagaan mo yung katawan mo, kumakain ka ng maayos, naglalaro ka nag-extra work ka, binibigay mo yung time, at binibigay mo yung love sa ngayon, sa basketball.
Good day. Let's go.
From Calamba, Laguna, Carlo Pamintuan for One Sports Plus.
Now, as RJ and the rest of the young Gilas Pilipinas Guns get set to usher in a new era for the national program, let's bring in someone who knows a thing or two about repping the country on the basketball court. Three-time PBA champ and senior analyst for the game. Also former Gilas Pilipinas member, not a lot of people remember that, Sol Mercado. Sol, how are you doing?
Doing great. How you guys doing?
We're good. I know
Sol.
Jet is so happy to see you.
Good,
I mean,
Sol.
like, he's so excited every time you come on the show.
I told them that I'd never do another show with Jet because they doubled the fee. So
Why does everyone
I said, all right.
always make fun of you on the show?
I don't know. Well, you forgot Carlos' name, so Sol's just riding on the train. So, we just heard from RJ Abarrientos, and he's a young guy gonna take up the cudgels of being a guard representing the country. When you think about guards, they are typically the guys who run the show, and does the pressure go up like 10 times more once you're doing that for the country instead of just a club team?
Yeah, I mean, definitely there's a different type of responsibility when you have the flag on your chest and you represent the country. But I mean, I think it's a great opportunity for him. You know, they say experience is the best teacher. So you know, he gets that opportunity to learn at a very young age and get that experience to grow as a player, as a leader. And doing it for the country is a great deal with it.
I mean, you played for the country, Sol, 2010 Asian Games, 2012 Jones Cup. As someone who experienced that, I mean, how much do you respect these young guys? They're young, they're so young now, but they're carrying a lot of pressure, almost as if, I mean, Coach Chot used to tell me, when you put on that Pilipinas jersey, you're like putting the whole country on your shoulders with every shot and every move that you make. So, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, just like I said, for all those guys, it's different representing the country, especially a country like the Philippines that, they love basketball so much, so, not only just on the court, but just your character as a team, character as an individual, you're representing us as a country while playing the game of basketball. So it's a great responsibility, but also a great opportunity for all those guys.
Time to look at another young guy here that everyone's going to be looking out for, Sotto. Sotto, we haven't seen him play even in the G League much. All of his scrimmages there were behind closed doors. What are you excited to see about his game now?
I just want to see, just the growth that he was able to have, training in the States, putting in all that hard work to see, his progress as a player, as a teammate. I would like to see, I'm very, very excited like everybody else just to see what he brings to that team, a different dynamic, obviously, with his athleticism and size.
Okay, Sol, I mean, you talk about the players, talk about Kai, but how about Coach Tab and his what he came out saying that this is the future. This is the future for the national team. This, I think, one of the first steps that we're going to be taking and actually having that solid program for the national team and for Gilas. What do you think about how the team was built and these players now? What pieces that we have, especially with a guy like Kai?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's great. You start these guys young, and obviously with Coach Tab, you're expecting a team with great character, guys that are going to come out and compete every single possession. A team that puts emphasis on the defensive end and playing together as a unit. And so I'm excited to see what they come with.
Well, so they're going to be a team that's learning on the fly. This is going to be their first game in a very, very long time, and we're all excited to see that. Remember, you can catch Gilas Pilipinas as they compete in the 2021 FIBA Asia Cup qualifiers. Don't miss out on the action starting June 16, 6 p.m. against South Korea, June 18, 6 p.m. against Indonesia, and June 30, 3 p.m. against South Korea again, live on TV5 and One Sports Plus. Sol will join us after the break alongside Jet, and the Hawks and the Clippers take Game 4 of their respective conference semifinal series. Is Kawhi Leonard proving his case as the best player in the world? Stay tuned. You're watching the game. Welcome back to the game. I'm Paulo De Rosario. It's time for us to talk some NBA playoff action. Kawhi Leonard, PG, and the Clippers even things up with Donovan Mitchell and the Utah Jazz. The LA duo combined for 62 points in their Game 4 win, while Mitchell had 35 points to lead Utah. This followed Trae Young and the Hawks tying things up with Joel Embiid and the Sixers as well. Ice Trae led the way with 25 points and 18 assists for Atlanta, while Embiid had 17 points and 21 rebounds for Philly. I'm still joined by my co-host Jet Manuel and three-time PBA champion Sol Mercado, and tonight, in the spirit of Mr. Jet Manuel's recent engagement, we're gonna play a little game called I Do or I Do Not.
Is this a surprise? Is this a surprise?
Yes, it is.
Oh my.
I do or I do not. All right, here are the rules. It is very simple. I will be asking a series of questions, and my folks here, Jet and Sol, will be answering with I do or I do not. All right?
I do not.
Okay.
I do not. If it's legit, I do not.
All right, let's get it going here. So, first up, I do or I do not. We'll start off with you, Sol. Do you believe that Kawhi Leonard is the best player in the world?
I do not. I mean, I don't agree with the, when he has a great game, people call him the best player on the planet. And then when he has a game where he doesn't score in the fourth quarter, he has a bad game and they lose, no one says anything. So he doesn't carry that weight as the best player in the planet. I think he's a very, very good superstar, but best player, I do not.
All right. You agree with that?
I was going to ask, who do you think is the best player, in your opinion, Sol? I mean, you're only as good as your last game.
Not LeBron James anymore.
Oh, wow.
No,
okay, all right.
Sol hates LeBron, man. I know that for a fact.
He set him up. All right, so let's move on here. Jet, this one's for you. I do or I do not believe that Paul George is overrated. Oh, man.
I do not.
You do not believe
I don't think he's overrated. I think he's properly rated. I think the things going, what they're saying about him going around him is that he's really good when he's really good, but he's just not consistent. That's what everyone believes. That's what everyone's saying, and that's what he really is. I mean, the last game he played a while ago, he was just unbelievable. So let's see if he's just consistent. So
all right, okay. Well, let's see what happens when he goes to Utah, because apparently he just clams up there. But speaking about Utah, okay, Jet, stop it. All right, so this one's for you. I do or I do not believe that Donovan Mitchell can lead the Utah Jazz to a championship.
That's a tough one. I gotta go with I do. But the way the Utah Jazz team is built, everyone has to do their part. Donovan Mitchell is going to star in his role, but everyone has to do their part as well. But they do have all the pieces, I believe, to win a championship.
Yeah.
After how he played a while ago,
well, it's really not his fault. He got 35 points. He got 35 points
but
again.
But he still can't lead his. He couldn't lead his team to a win.
Okay, Jet, we're gonna get into a fight right after this show. Okay, moving on. This was for you, Jet. I do or I do not believe that Trae Young can be better than Steph Curry in the future.
Come on.
You don't think so?
Steph is on another level. I think he's proven time and time again. Trae's amazing. He's a terrific player. He's playing out of this world. Youngest player to have 18 assists, I think, in the playoff game. But Steph is just up here, and Trae is literally shorter than him down here.
Yeah, okay. So, you agree with that one?
I don't think it's that far off, to be honest. I mean, to look at what he's doing this early in his career, Steph was great, but he wasn't that great this early. So I think he has an opportunity to be up there with him. I don't think it's that far off, but we talk about Steph Curry.
He has a lot to do, though.
He does.
Shoes to fill.
Absolutely. All right, so this one's for you. I do not believe that this year is the best chance for Joel Embiid to lead the 76ers to a title, especially with all the injuries to the Nets.
I mean, he's injured as well. If you watched him today, he was struggling. So, if he can be healthy, this is a great opportunity for him this year. So I'm going to say I do, but he has to really take care of that knee.
Yeah.
And those injuries happening to, his biggest threat is definitely on his side.
But he had 21 rebounds.
Yeah, but he's playing with a torn meniscus.
But I mean, is anyone that healthy in the playoffs? I mean, the playoffs in the PBA we played. Is anyone 100%? Is any team 100%?
Absolutely not. Only LeBron James when he's healthy.
Okay, all right. You see, there's that little hate that we're expecting from that. Okay, Jet, this is for you. I hope that you can relate to this. I think a lot of people on social media could. I do or I do not believe that Ben Simmons should not have broken up with Kendall Jenner.
This is commercial.
Commercial.
Sol, save me.
Sol, what do you think?
Hey, it looks like she has a gift with the way that Devin Booker.
Devin Booker, right?
What's the history, though? I do. Next question.
No. Oh my goodness. All right. And this is the last one in this particular run through. This one's only for Jet. I do or I do not claim that Sol Mercado is one of the best teammates in the world.
I know where you live.
He does. He literally does.
So the answer is?
I do.
Oh my God.
I do think he is one of the best teammates in the world.
Okay. That's the most sincere I do we've heard on this show.
You want me to kneel down? Sol has to kneel down before I say I do.
Send me your bank account details.
This is what is
My guy.
this rigged.
Yeah, I have to admit, it was a bit rigged. But going back to all the stuff that we talked about, I think most contentious one was probably the whole Trae Young and Steph Curry debate. And you say that it's not happening, right? But Sol says otherwise. What are the gaps do you think he needs to fill up?
Well, first of all, he has to win a championship.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's the only thing I think that will put him in the same level with him. But I think Sol's right. I get this point that this young, this early, the way he's been playing. But they're just big shoes to fill.
Yeah.
He has to lead his team. He has to learn how to actually carry a team on his back. He's had some off games, but yeah, he's still young. But if he can get over that hump, then he's going to get to where the Utah Jazz might never be able to reach.
What are you doing, Jet? What are you doing? We're supposed to be good. Well, but Sol, you mentioned a while ago you don't feel that Kawhi Leonard is the best player. We don't know your answer yet because Jet was just saying that you don't think that LeBron is. Who in your mind, though, is up front?
Kevin Durant, without a
Oh,
doubt. He's
okay.
the best player on the planet right now.
All right. Absolutely. So Kevin Durant, I think, he has a
He's
point.
the best scorer.
Do you think that, will your opinion change, though, if Giannis knocks him out?
Definitely.
I'm not a fan of Giannis, so no, it wouldn't change. I do believe that Kevin Durant's the best player in the league right now, and I'm sticking to it.
All right.
Whether they win or not.
Okay, so our key takeaways from today's segment, which really gone off the rails. One, I don't think Jet wants
the best teammate.
Kendall to break. He's breaking up with Kendall, talking about Ben
if
Simmons.
I say that, then my fiance is gonna.
Yeah, right. That's how you get into a fight.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay, and of course, we all now know that Jet's favorite teammate ever.
Sol.
I know he only
Sol
said I
Mercado.
do. It's Sol Mercado. There you go.
And the Utah Jazz lost.
Yeah, the Utah Jazz. We're done reporting that, Jet. And you know what? You're friends with Sol, but then we're unfriending each other right after this. Sol, thank you very much for joining us here tonight. It's been really fun.
Always a pleasure.
All right, so catch us weeknights here on One News, One Sports, and One Sports Plus. I'm Paulo De Rosario. He's Jet Manuel, and this has been The Game.